James Carter had never been the kind of man who needed luxury. He believed in simple things, hard work, honesty, and love that didn't need proof. For years, he poured everything into his small business, a modest repair shop that kept the lights on and dreams alive. It wasn't glamorous, but it was his pride. His wife, Vanessa, hadn't always cared about glamour either. When they first met, she used to say, "I'd rather have love in a small house than loneliness in a mansion." But somewhere along the way, things changed. Maybe it was the influence of her new friends, wealthy, polished women who wore diamond smiles and spoke in comparisons. Or maybe it was James's growing list of failures, another loan denied, another deal gone wrong. Still, he tried. He worked longer hours, missed dinners, and skipped sleep just to prove himself worthy. He wanted to give Vanessa the life she dreamed of. But on his 38th birthday, everything broke. Vanessa had organized a dinner, just a few friends, she said. The restaurant was high-end, full of people who measured worth in price tags and surnames. James arrived straight from work, grease still under his nails, wearing his one good suit, slightly wrinkled but clean. When he walked in, Vanessa was already seated with her friends, Melissa, Clara, and Ethan, her old college friend who was now a successful investor. They looked up as he approached, their polite smiles barely hiding judgment. "James," Vanessa said brightly, a little too loud. "You made it. We were just talking about your business." He smiled, sitting beside her. "Yeah. Hope it was good things." Melissa laughed softly. "Oh, of course. Vanessa was telling us how dedicated you are. Working with, what was it? Car parts." Clara smirked. "That's cute. My husband just bought a new Tesla. Maybe James can fix it if it ever breaks." Ethan chuckled, raising his glass. "Cheers to that." Vanessa didn't defend him. Instead, she joined their laughter, the sound sharp, cold, unfamiliar. James forced a smile, trying to stay composed. "Well, someone's got to keep the wheels turning, right?" "Sure," Ethan said, smirking. "But maybe it's time to think bigger. Some of us can't afford to stay small forever." The table laughed again. Vanessa leaned over, whispering something to her friends that made them giggle even harder. James looked at her, eyes heavy with disbelief. "What's so funny?" Vanessa turned, her tone laced with mock sympathy. "Nothing, James. It's just, we were saying how ambitious you used to be. Remember when you wanted to start that tech company? And now, well," she gestured vaguely at him. "Life happened." His jaw tightened. The waiter arrived with a small cake, chocolate, his favorite. Vanessa smiled sweetly as the candles flickered. "Go on," she said. "Make a wish." He stared at the candles for a long moment, then blew them out. The table clapped, and Ethan raised his glass again. "To James," he said mockingly. "The man who keeps trying." Laughter erupted. Even Vanessa laughed, that same cruel laugh that echoed louder than the music around them. James sat there, his chest hollow. Something inside him broke quietly. He stood up, pushing his chair back. "You know what, Vanessa? You're right. Life did happen, and somewhere along the way, it changed you more than it changed me." Her smile faltered. "James, sit down." "No," he said firmly. "I've spent years trying to make you proud. I worked myself to exhaustion just to keep us afloat. But I see now, nothing I do will ever be enough for you or your friends. You all measure success by money. I measure it by effort." The table went silent. He looked at each of them, his voice steady. "And for the record, I might not have much right now, but at least I haven't lost who I am." With that, he turned and walked out. Vanessa didn't follow. Outside, the night air was cold, but it felt clean. He took a deep breath and kept walking until the noise of the restaurant faded behind him. That night, he packed a bag, left the keys on the counter, and walked away from the house they once built together. He didn't leave a note. He didn't need to. Months passed. Life wasn't easy, but James didn't give up. He moved into a small apartment above his shop, working day and night to rebuild what he'd lost. He took online courses, learned new skills, and started offering electric car repairs, something no one in his area was doing yet. Slowly, word spread. Customers came. The business grew. Within a year, he expanded into a larger space, hired 2 employees, and signed a partnership with a local dealership. One morning, he stood outside his new shop, Carter Autotech, his name painted boldly across the glass. It wasn't a skyscraper or a mansion, but it was his. He smiled for the first time in a long time. That weekend, he was invited to a business networking event. When he walked in, dressed neatly in a tailored suit, heads turned. And there, across the room, was Vanessa. She froze when she saw him. Her rich friends were beside her, whispering. She excused herself and approached slowly. "James," she said quietly. "You look different." He smiled faintly. "That's because I stopped trying to impress people who laughed at me." She swallowed hard. "I didn't mean to." "Yes, you did," he said calmly. "But it's all right. You taught me something important. Sometimes, being called a failure is the first step to real success." Vanessa's eyes glistened. "Are you happy now?" "I am," he said. "And I hope someday you find something real, not rich, not shiny, just real." He nodded politely and walked away, leaving her standing there amidst the noise and laughter she once chose over him. Outside, the city lights reflected on his car window. His new car, bought with his own earnings, no loans, no help. He smiled again, whispering to himself, "Congratulations, James. You made it." And for the first time, that word, congratulations, finally meant something true.